In the valley of Temecula, under skies of blue, vineyards sprawl on rolling hills, kissed by the morning dew. People come from near and far to gather for a taste. A tour and a local band make for a special place. Chords and vines, songs and wine, a bottle and a tune. Chords and vines, songs and wines, a perfect pair for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chords and Vines. I'm Tom Plant.
And I'm Kat Ellis.
Yes, you are, all day long. John Quint is here. Hello, John.
We got
Hello,
our
guys. How are
special
you?
co-host, John Quint. We love John Quint.
And Joel Reese is here. Hey, Joel.
Hello, I'm so happy and honored to be here with all of you.
We are delighted to have you here.
And we've got a lot of celebrities out here in our audience.
Joseph and Grace Morabito are here.
Oh, I know. I loved Joseph and Grace. And Robbie Motter's here.
Yay, Robbie Motter. Laura Plant's here.
And Laura Plant.
Laura Plant's in the house. And
God.
we're at Tonino.
I know. This is our first time here at Tonino's, and I love this place. Laura and I came in here Friday. We thought, we'll just get an appetizer and some wine, and I had a gorgeous salad. And you had the eggplant Parmesan. Oh, my gosh.
I have that every time I play here, every Friday night.
Wonderful.
It is so good.
So, Joel, you're here every Friday night.
Yes.
Well, we will come in, and now that we know that,
I'd
we will
love
come in
it.
and absolutely. There we go. That's a little better.
And it's just so wonderful to be. I love this place. I just don't think we come here enough.
It's in the Village Walk in Murrieta, and it's just north of Coles, kind of right across the street by R.J. Sizzlin' Steer. And there's a Petco here. There's a Bevmo. There's just all sorts of fun
Guitar
stuff.
Center.
Guitar Center.
Well, I was
indeed.
going to say that for all our musician friends, Guitar Center.
Yeah,
And it's
Kat
all-
has named it the Guitar Center Center.
The Guitar Center.
It's all about people. I mean, it's his personality and the people he hires. And
Oh,
that's
Tony
where
is
it
such
starts.
a sweetheart. I
Yeah.
mean, you walk in, you feel like you're part of his family. I mean, he met us outside. When Laura and I came in here Friday, he met us outside and does
"Welcome."
Yep.
exactly.
Big arms, open arms.
And personal service. Oh my gosh, I really do. I feel like I was part of the family, and we'll talk with Tony about this. But honestly, I know he's like. I think Tony. Here comes Tony.
Everything he does is big. It's
Well,
all
I
big.
know. I think you had advertised that you were going to have. You need another chef or cook in here. I was like, I can't cook Italian, but I would love to come work here because it's so friendly and the ambiance is great and everything just feels so good when you walk in. Like I said, you greeted Laura and I here on Friday like we were part of the family.
You are
Oh.
part of the family. Actually, everything we do really from heart.
And it shows.
It shows, yes.
Yes. And one more thing. I want everybody to feel that he is home, but out of his home. So forget your problems, forget your thoughts, come enjoy your time.
I love it.
And we do combination because I'm Egyptian. My boss is Italian. She's Italian.
That's your wife, right?
Yes. So I have my part. Like I have my part in the garage, in the closet. 3-4%.
You got that? You get that
That's
much, huh,
really-
Tony? You get that much, huh?
3 to 4%.
I love your wife already. I'm not mad at her, but I love her already.
They will come. So I do what I can do. And we have a very, very, very unique wine. With the wine we have, you don't find on the shelves. We have Italian, local, American, Australian, French, and we pair the wine with every dish.
Beautiful.
Now, do you do the pairing with the wines
I'm
yourself?
trying to help because we don't have a wine menu. So I'm trying to help all with my customers to
Tony,
pick a good wine.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay, so
I got to tell you, every time I've been in here, you've paired a wine to go with the food that we've had, and it's been excellent.
I'm proud you are here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You look at him smiling like a little boy. He's so proud. He really is. He's proud.
Yes, yep.
So, Joel, I got to thank Robbie Motter for setting this all up for
Oh,
us.
yeah.
I mean, we've had you on the show before, and I think actually you were hosting us over at Crush and Brew with Dave Kazar.
Oh, Dave. Wasn't that a great...
That
you
was
were there too, weren't you, when Dave was there? John?
Yeah, the one time I think. Yeah.
And I miss having Dave. I know he's out in Orange County, and we do travel. We're going to have to go out to Orange County to get Dave back on the show because he is such
Road
an
trip.
awesome. I
An
love
artist.
road trips.
And you are so sweet as to exercise your artistry as a photographer, and you'd made a few photos of me
Thank you.
over there that afternoon.
That
or
was
the next
fun.
day. Yeah, thank you for that.
That was fun. It was just a couple, but it was.
And Tom
fun.
and I had a nice Mexican lunch about
We
a year
did,
ago.
at Vero's, right?
Mhm, That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we all go way back here. It's just so cool. I love this area.
Well, Joel Cat and I have been dear friends for about 9 years, and about a year and a half ago, we were doing the radio show up in Carmel, and
Yeah.
we kind of turned a corner and haven't looked back.
Carmel, I'm thinking John must have been in Carmel. He likes it up there.
But we
I've
both
been to
share
Carmel in a long time, but I
we
love
both
it,
share a
yeah.
passion for photography, for music,
I know.
so
We just
kind of like meant to be.
It's kind of like you're in. It's like you're in paradise now, or something. Yes.
And we share,
and we
love
share
for
Laura.
That's right.
Wow.
So Joel, I tell you, I was on your Facebook page, and I've known you, I mean, for quite a while now, for several years, but still, I love your posts. Every morning you have, let me see, I was taking my notes, your personal videos, your inspirational videos,
Rise and shine.
Rise and shine, that's
and then
the word I
I
was looking
share
for.
some thought of some kind. Yes.
Lovely.
but I want to go back just a little bit. Your movies that you put down that you like, you've got a very diverse group of movies. Number one, you have Glenn Campbell's
Oh, really?
I'll Be Me,
Oh, okay.
Bottle Shock,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one.
The Man from Snowy River,
that was great
and
back
one
in
of
the
my
80s.
one of my personal favorites is Sound of Music.
Oh, me too.
I love the Sound
They
of
would have
Music.
used a drone now, but in those days it was probably a helicopter that caught her as she was
Oh
spinning.
yeah, in
you
the
know.
very beginning. Yeah,
Well, these are all movies that she saw on your Facebook page.
these were ones that Joel likes, and I just thought that was. I mean, what a diverse kind of
Yeah.
group.
No
but,
kidding.
But I
Well-
would do. I want to think. Is Glenn Campbell one of your mentors or somebody that you?
Yes, and since he's died, a lot of people have come out and said, "Wow, this guy changed the world," or "He did this for
He
me,"
did.
or "that for me." And one thing that he did is in the late '60s, country music was, Buck Owens, and it was very hardcore, a lot of it, right? And some was real sweetened with like Patsy Cline, and Jim Reeves, but Glenn here was in Los Angeles, and it's more pop, right, and
Right.
contemporary, and he would invite Mel Tillis and all these country guys on,
Right.
right? He kind of opened the door for a lot of people. But as a little boy, he had his show. So I'd see him, and then I'd see Laugh-In these shows. But something about his personality and his playing and singing caught my attention as a 3-year-old.
I think I first saw him. I believe it was on the Smothers Brothers show, and back then it was, more country or something, and it wasn't popular to be. But I mean, I was always into rock and roll, but I always have loved Glenn Campbell. There was just something about his music, his songwriting that was very real and very honest, and I see a lot of that in your music. That you are very real and honest in your music, and you are a great storyteller in your songs.
Thank you.
That's why I was asking if it was sort of a mentor with you, or who else did you follow up with?
So let's see. In that young period, my mom had records of all kinds. So I like Neil Diamond, and I sort of missed out on rock and roll in the early 70s, late 60s, because my mom and dad didn't listen to rock and roll.
Right.
I sort of had to catch up on that later. The rock and roll they liked was Buddy Holly and all the 50s
Well, I
and the
love those
60s
too.
rock. Orbison, Roy Orbison.
Right.
So later I learned about Yes. And, you're probably like, Yes,
Oh,
right?
I saw Yes, God, 7, 8 times. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jimi Hendrix. See, I didn't grow up with Jimi Hendrix in my house. But later I've learned who he was and loved him.
And, of course, Jimmy Webb, who did so much of the songwriting for Glenn.
Yes, as a poet,
Yeah.
his lyrics grab me, but the reason George Strait has had more #1 hits than anybody in the history of the business is because George always listens to a melody, and if he likes it, well, you don't rewind the tape anymore, but
Right.
Yeah.
he'll listen again now for the lyric. I was opposite. I always listened to the lyric first and then the melody, but George has a good point. You got to have the marriage of the melody and
You
the
do.
lyric
True.
for it to be
Absolutely.
memorable.
I still think though the lyrics get me more than anything. I mean, the melody, of course, it's going to stay with you regardless. But I think to me, lyrics always got to me first.
Yeah.
Even with rock and roll and and all those, which really does not have a lot, have a whole lot with the lyrics. Most of that is just with the melody and the. But still, I think with songwriting, like with What You Do and the Glenn Campbell and a lot of the other artists, it's always lyrics that always get me.
And I need you more than want you.
Wichita Lineman.
I
has been
want
one
you
of my
for all
favorites.
time. That's like a very historical little piece
Oh,
right there. That's a
yeah,
unique lyric.
definitely.
And then what about Chris Christopherson?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Feeling
yes.
nearly faded as my jeans. That's good.
Sunday morning coming down.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, amazing lyricist.
And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad.
Exactly.
So I had one more for dessert.
You know, and one of my other favorite artists too, John Hyatt. And my favorite song with his is Don't Think About It When You're Trying to Drive, which seems like such a long title, but if you ever listen to those lyrics,
Selfie.
and we got a selfie. I was driving back from Idaho for my dad's funeral, and on one of the highways there, we saw a truck, and that song just hit me, and it just all came into place.
Yeah.
It was just perfect, and it's interesting. Now, John Quinn, I don't know if you realize, was the winner last
I do.
year.
You went to New York.
Yeah, I
Went to
did.
New
yeah.
York, the winner
Yeah.
of your Music Out International Music, your Music Out Loud songwriting competition, and so we got the best lyricist here with us today.
Oh,
John.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Man
song
in the shadows.
grabs you.
Yeah.
I get lucky.
I don't know, John. Do you really think it's? I don't think it's.
You have a
luck.
muse, don't you?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I mean, I think a song has to find its own life, you know. I've had, God, several songs where I've started them, I'll get a verse and a chorus, and all of a sudden the muse leaves for a bit, and then you just got to let them percolate for a while. But when they come back, they're that much better. I can't force something, you know. I mean, and you probably couldn't get two polar opposite writers right here. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Joel, my brother here, he's this upbeat, happy kind of guy, and I'm this like kind of dark and brooding, you know, kind of personality here and stuff. And I kind of like that. It's duplicitous, but you know.
I'd love to see the two
Wonderful
of you
writer.
work together.
Yeah, we've thought about writing a song.
That'd be great.
I mean,
Measure of a
exactly like
man.
you said, polar opposites.
That's right.
And one thing I got to say, Joel, when I'm looking at reading your Facebook posts and your web page, you are one of the most positive, upbeat persons I've ever met.
Wow.
I've got you're inspirational, and some of the posts you think your personal videos, your rise and shine, where you talked about keep trying things, keep trying different things. Eventually, you'll create your best wall
Your best work?
work. God, I can't read my
Can't
own
read her own writing.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes instead of just not doing anything or you just kind of trying to figure out what to do, just go try some things. You know, and eventually you figure out what you do best.
And you perform your music to go along with this. Who knows somebody with anxiety?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one. And what do you, the top hand, your cowboy sense for your day. That is so cool.
Cowboy common sense. That's
Common
right.
sense. That is really neat.
The reason why I do this is because I get a little depression now and then. I get anxious. And I know that, like we were just talking a minute ago, you say, how you doing? I want to say, man, I'm doing great, because I really am right now. But there's times
There
of
are
the day
times.
or night or week, or because I was mentioning we have deaths in the family, loss of income, imbalances, you know, mentally, all kinds of things people
Hillary
are dealing
Life,
with.
life happens.
We're staying away from politics.
I know,
John.
I
He
know.
can't help himself.
I know.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. You know, it's hey, I'm East Coast.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I decided, I don't know when, but I decided, okay, I want to put more positivity out there and encourage others. You know?
Excellent.
It's better than doing nothing.
We need more people like you.
Well, you
And-
also have your God-given imagination. I love that.
Everybody has one.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. And I just go to your page, and I just feel so
Thank
inspired
you.
and so uplifted by everything that you posted. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that.
That is a very gift, because I wasn't sure if I should be doing this, because I've done it,
No.
and I was like, should I be putting my time somewhere else? And to hear you say that tells me keep doing it. So thank you very much.
No, well, thank
Kat.
you for doing
I
that,
appreciate
because
it.
I do appreciate that.
Well, Joel, you brought your guitar. And we're
yeah.
going to have you do a couple of songs. Do you have one that you want to kick off with?
Oh, of course, yes. Would you mind grabbing that Cabernet that's made up on the hill, Tony?
Yes, I did.
It's
Okay.
right here.
Yeah, and what is it called, Tony?
Sir Charles.
Well, let's
Sir
give you the
Charles.
mic just for a second.
It's a local wine called Sir Charles. Charles is a dog, and they take care of every customer go to the winery. And I love them, and I appreciate every local business.
Wow.
It's your turn now.
Okay.
So we're going to listen to Joel Reese.
Yes, we are.
Is the radio on right now, Tony? I hear some music. Okay. I like my eggs fried over easy. I like a kiss that lingers on and on. I like old violins and slow aged whiskey and the smell of earth when it's been rained on. I like a song with a meaty melody and a lyric that cuts to the bone. I love it paired with a wine with some rich complexity, a full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon. When I'm alone or I'm with someone, you can have your diet soda or your glass of Chablis, but give me Cabernet Sauvignon. Who contends with that? All right. Well, I like my cabin Coonawarra, Australia. I like it down on that limestone coast. Heavy with black currant and Stellenbosch, South Africa, and earthy as the soil in Bordeaux. I like to wait at least 10 years till the dust on the bottle will tell a little story about the terroir and the vine and the art of a wine made so well. Here we go. Cabernet Sauvignon. When I'm alone or I'm with someone, you can have your diet soda, folks, or your glass of Chablis, but give me Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, we couldn't finish this song without singing about Temecula Valley.
Of course.
Now, there's a well-kept secret in the South Coast, just inland from the missions of old. Her nights are cool, her days are long and sunny, and she can sure make a cab taste bold. My first taste of her noble grape was in the vineyard in the village of dreams. I sang, oh, Leoness, hey, you all know the rest. I'd say Temecula's arrived on the scene. And I wrote this like 9 years ago. It's definitely on the scene
Yeah,
now.
it is.
You bet.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Woo!
Thank you. That's what a cab will do. When I open a bottle of wine, it inspires a song.
Beautiful. Tony, you chose well. This wine is wonderful.
I knew they'd like it. I knew they'd like that.
So, Sir Charles.
Okay, the business not only food, it's a communication and happiness and love. And I have a lady which is one of the famous lady. I recognize that she's a famous lady in the valley, Ma'am Robbie. And when she listened to Mr. Joel, she said, "Oh, I listened to this voice 13 years ago." I told her, 13 years ago, I wasn't even here in America. So I don't know what you're saying.
You were just a little boy 13 years ago.
So I told her, go see him. And she recognized the connection just from the voice. She
Definitely.
remembers that she heard for him 13 years ago. That's a credit, sir.
Bravo. Bravo.
Whoa.
Thank you, Tony.
So Joel, that song was so beautiful. I mean, of course, I love cab. That's my wine of choice. Usually is a cab.
We
But
kicked it
you've
off
been,
right.
and you mentioned Leoness in your song. You
Yes.
have been a personal development coach for Leoness. That's what you put down. What does a personal development coach do for
Okay,
Leoness?
that's a great question. Well, when I started there as a server for a couple days a week, I'd played music full time my whole life, and I moved here 10 years ago to focus even more on family and I'd never had like a day job. So that was my first big deal. So then I handled hosting and tours, and then marketing, and then I said, because I'm always working on myself.
Right.
If we're not working on ourselves. And as I began to do that, I thought, I'd like to train. And so I just started kind of mentoring some. And so that sounds like a brag almost to say I'm a personal development coach. I might ought to change that. But
but that's what you do.
Yeah, but the idea is that if I want to share, like a young person that wants to be a salesperson, before I teach them about sales and money and all that, I'd rather help them work on themselves. Because if you have fear of things, or you don't like or love yourself enough, or you don't listen very well to people and hear the clues of what they're interested in, you're not going to be able to sell them anything anyway. So I figure build the person first, like Coach John Wooden. He would build character in his players first, and then they'd learn to play. Don't focus on winning. Focus on being the very best of which you're capable that day, and then you've done the best you could do. Consequently, he won more games than anybody in basketball.
Oh, that's... John, you're looking like...
I don't follow basketball, so I don't. I'm sorry, but I like the analogy.
You like the analogy?
I like the analogy. Yes.
Oh.
That is so cool. I mean, it's you can tell with your music and everything. Like I said, with your pose, you'd just be perfect at that. How long have you been at Leoness now?
10 years.
10 years.
And that's about how long we've known each other. Isn't
Yeah,
it,
that's
Joel?
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. We met each other early on in your start at Leoness.
You did, Tom. You did a wonderful article on Mike and Gary, and I remember the picture. You turned a picture into looked like a sketch, a pencil sketch.
Yep.
Yeah, they're out there on the patio,
right,
looking at the vineyard.
And the website's still going.
Yeah, you've done a lot. You've done so much. Before I moved here 10 years ago, I researched the valley, and I could see that it was still being made fun of, and we had a lot of challenges. And it was a team of people, including yourself, a lot of people that raised the bar and got word out there.
Thank you.
And still doing it, Tom.
And we are, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're still doing it. With your Wineormous, WINEORMOUS.com.
That's right.
And
Thank
your
you.
wine tours.
Just did one today.
Just did one today.
Already this
He
morning.
did a tour and then raced here to do Chords and Vines.
Where did you go? Can you tell us what you did?
I'd be happy to. We started at Lorimar. Then we went to Hart Winery, and we wound up at a place that's not even open to the public yet.
Oh, good.
It's called Akash. He's on Calle Contento, kind of just past Long Shadow on the opposite side of the street. And he hopes to have his doors open by May, next month.
So if you want to really get the inside scoop behind the scenes, you want to go with you, Tom.
Absolutely.
Because you know what's going on.
Yeah, and I like to do the off-the-beaten-track tours.
Yeah. And Joe Hart makes good wine.
Oh.
Joe has handed the reins over to his son, Jim. So Jim and his brother Mike are making the wines now.
And they're still just absolutely incredible.
Amazingly good.
And I love it that are almost all of your broadcasts in restaurants? Or every single one? No, some are at wineries.
Wineries, restaurants, breweries.
Yes.
The Cheese Company.
Cheese Company. Festivals. We're doing. We're going to be broadcasting again for the second time the LA Wine Fest. We're working with the Orange County Wine Fest just to happen, but we're working with them, and we're also going to be Laura Plant, who has her show Words and Vines. We're also going to be working with Wine Women and Words in May. Is it May? May.
Yep, May.
And May 11th, Mother's Day weekend. We're going to be out there doing Chords and Vines, and also working with Laura's Words and Vines, because she's doing the spoken.
Women writers and winemakers. Since
should get an
Laura's off
all-women's
mic,
band.
I'm just going to, in Orange County.
John and I are going to start an all-women's band.
I love
No,
it.
I'm kidding, but I'm just
Can I play
inspired just now.
kazoo?
I don't know, can you?
Well, I don't know. I can try.
I love it that you include restaurants, because that's what another part of what's helped put Temecula on the map is by some of the local wineries putting some of their wines in restaurants. That was a program that helped get word out to the travelers that were coming through.
Right.
Now,
You know.
Espadine is part of your family now, isn't it, in Old Town?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Laura and I just had brunch there today.
They said
Oh,
it
you
was
did?
fabulous.
Brunch, huh?
Oh, so good. It was our second time there. We love it there.
They always manage to do that when I'm working or busy or can't join them.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we also did a Chords and Vines from the Bluegrass Festival this year. That's
did.
where
I
I
missed
saw
that.
you perform.
I was
you
there
performed.
Sunday.
Ah, there's the pop we like.
Oh, that's my
Opa.
favorite sound. my one of my favorite sounds is that
Yeah.
pop sound. I was gonna go.
Oh, you
I
do
can't
that
do
well.
I can't do the Lawrence Welk sound.
But that's
Still
not
pretty
bad.
good.
Well, you can do it without putting your finger in your mouth. I have to do that little.
You know where your fingers been. I mean,
That's good. Pop it top again.
That's my
It's an old
favorite.
country song, you know.
Gosh, I don't know. I was gonna say I had all these notes written about.
Oh,
I-
just,
She
just
does.
forget the notes.
Copious
Just forget the
notes,
notes.
yes.
well, I
This is
know, but I
fine.
was just so fascinated. I just did not want to miss out on anything. One of the things that I saw, and this was so cool to me, and I actually took a picture of this on your Facebook page because it said, "Garden of our minds and hearts can be hard work, but we are worth it. Don't listen to doubt or believe the lies about us not being able to love. Keep our integrity or find the joy in life. Let us keep planting and nurturing the seeds of love, appreciation, and positivity. I tend my garden first thing every morning. I do what's right because it's right until it feels right. Love."
Wow.
No.
Did you write that? Because it sounds
You
like
wrote that.
No, I think John Quint wrote that. That sounds like a John Quint verse.
doesn't it? That
on
sounds
February
beautiful,
30th,
John.
absolutely, I wrote that. Yes,
Well,
February.
No, this was off of
That's
yours,
you,
Joel.
Joel.
This was
That's
beautiful.
you, brother.
Oh, it
That's
sounds like
you.
a video that I shared, but it sounds like you added a few things and made it very
No,
poetic.
it was all
Okay.
yours. It was all
Good.
yours. And I read that, and I
Oh.
thought, oh my God, this is absolutely beautiful, and I had to
Thank
share
you.
it. And I think all that with your music, you can feel the love, you can feel the inspiration, you can feel everything that you talk about. You just don't
Thank you.
talk, you live
Yeah.
it.
It's impossible to feel downcast when you're in your presence,
Wow.
Joel. Well, except for John Quint, maybe. He's
No, I'm just listening, you know.
Well, and you know, and part of it
we love
maybe
John.
it's kind of like keeping flies out of the barn, or you know,
What, I'm a fly in a barn now? What is,
not you, not you, or cleaning the pens, you know, in the barn, keeping the, you know, and putting the manure where it really goes, put it over in the roses or in the garden. So that's why I have to tend the garden of my mind and my
Yeah.
heart, you know, or I get to be a real mess, and I'll be writing songs like, I've been thinking about dying.
John wrote that one.
I ain't even thinking about trying.
I
But anyway,
remember, John,
yeah.
when I first met you, you said you were singing songs that made people want to go out and slash their wrists. You know?
well, yeah, well, you know, but like,
And I totally disagree. I totally disagree on that. But that's what you said. And I thought, no, he doesn't.
I have a warped sense of humor, Kat. You know that.
I know. That's why we love you so much. And one other thing is, what I noticed on your Facebook page, care enough to be the solution.
Ooh,
That's great.
Thank you. Can I explain that real quick?
Yes.
All
Wish
right.
you would.
Let's take it from like a husband and wife's point of view, or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or couple, however, whatever, how it works out. Would be sometimes we look at it as 50-50, but I realized this last year, if I take 95% of the blame for why one of my relationships, maybe even a business relationship, even it could be that, I'm just going to take 95%. It's my fault. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I never really realized that this HR director, or this whoever I'm working with, has a totally different personality, total different way they think and speak than I do. Why don't I just? It's my fault, and so I'm going to study them and do what they want, give it to them the way they want it. Next thing you know, you're best friends.
Right.
You
So
just-
that's part of why I think
You
it's
just can't approach everyone with the same technique. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. We're all different beings.
right.
That's awesome. I'm just so excited about having Joel, and just like I said, I read his Facebook post, I read it, and I just get so
That's so
inspired
sweet
and
of you.
excited.
Oh.
And I'm just so glad we ran into each other, and Robbie
Me
put
too.
us together again, because Robbie saw you, I think, playing here,
Mm-hmm.
and she sent me a message saying, "Oh, you've got to get Joel Reese on your show." And I said, "Well, we've had Joel on before, but yeah, I'd love to have him again." And then things happen, you know, and well, it wasn't that short or long a time, but at seeing you at the Bluegrass Festival, and I saw
I
you
love
walk
that.
by, and I'm like, Joel.
Yeah. That Bluegrass Festival is so wonderful.
Oh, we had so much
He did a
fun.
great job.
He did. Tim Moyer is awesome out there. I camped out
Tim's
there the
working
whole
his heart out.
weekend.
He is,
Good.
yes.
Did you camp out too, Tom?
I
No.
Or you had
no,
to
I
travel?
had work to do.
Yeah, you had to work.
That's
Well,
right.
I had my Sassy Mama's mustards.
Different kind of work. She was working too.
I had my mustards, my Sassy Mama's mustards booth, and it was just easier for me to stay out there the whole week and then going back and forth. And the cool thing was there was a lot of bluegrass jams going on at night.
Until 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Wow.
Friday night. I was exhausted because I'd only had like maybe 4 hours sleep the night before, trying to get everything together for my booth and last minute labeling my jars and all the stuff that
Your
goes
booth
together.
looked beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Caught
And-
my attention right away.
Well, with that, me yelling Joel at the same time. But thank you
You're
very
very
much.
artistic in every way, and just the fact that you appreciate what I'm doing on this has changed my life, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. I want to tie back to restaurants. Some musicians that I've known over the years think they're too good to do restaurants because they don't pay enough and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's like I wouldn't have met Robbie Motter if I don't play here. That wouldn't have brought you here today if I wasn't playing there. I used to play table to table in a little Mexican restaurant in Ramona, California, 30 years ago. And, and I would get in with the children, do something for them and for all ages. A lady says to me, I'm a principal of an elementary school. Would you be willing to do a school assembly for me and come as a singing cowboy? I notice you have a little Western background, and it's the Red Ribbon Week. That one school assembly led to like 25 years of school assemblies, teachers' conference, thousands of dollars if we want to talk about money. Yeah, I only played for $50 at that restaurant, but look what it turned into.
Wow.
So I just and the same with Temecula, by having our wines like here at Tonino, we've got who's the brothers on the winery strip there? I know their names. I'm just blank on the winery. That they have a brewery now.
The Weens.
Yeah, the Weens. Yeah. So we've got Weens wine here, and they're not making any money on it. They're selling it below wholesale, but it helps bring the valley up.
Yes,
I
it does.
understand that. With my photography, and this has been really nice, I am fortunate enough to have the city of Wildemar and Bridget Moore.
Well,
Just lost my mind.
Viagra.
And Bridget Moore call me every year to come and do Santa Claus photos for the city and the Cub Scouts or Rotary Club. That was the other thing.
Yes.
And I don't know how many, 5 or 6 years I've been doing that, and it's just, I love it. It's a pain, but it's fun, and I love it. See the kids and knowing that I'm creating memories for these children, giving them their photos, that 20 or 30 years from now, they're going to be looking at these photos that I took with them with Santa Claus. And it's like, you say you're going to the assemblies of school. These kids are going to remember all that music. And
We were all children once, and we were impressioned by
right.
other people. You know what? I got to apologize real quick because everybody's talking about how positive I am, but look how negative I was a minute ago. I said something I shouldn't have
were?
said. Yeah, did you hear what I said? You heard what I said, didn't you?
I heard what you said.
Did you hear what I said?
I heard what you said.
And after I said that, my heart started pumping like, uh-oh, that was a
John's
going
gonna
to
kill me, right?
negative.
Yeah, no.
So what I said was, I said something like, some musicians won't play. They think they're too good to play a restaurant. Now, that was really judgmental and big-time negative. Like I'm preaching, like, what's the matter with you guys? See, I shouldn't have said it like that, John.
No
Oh,
worries,
man.
brother. No worries.
No, you know what I should? How about if I spin it this way? Some musicians haven't tasted playing restaurants yet, and it doesn't pay a lot, but they might benefit if they would taste it now and then. How
it's
about
got to
that?
be the right
that could
restaurant.
work. That'll,
The-
yeah.
The right restaurant. Okay, go ahead. We got Tony back.
Go right ahead, Tony.
So I told Mr. Joel I want to talk in the restaurant about patience, that customers should be patient.
Yes.
And he's very polite man. He didn't tell me, you are wrong, Tony. You are talking about food. Don't talk about patient. But I will change it from patient to passion.
Ah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And he is a nice teacher in a nice way. He always like water. He can break a stone with drops.
Wow.
Wow.
That's beautiful, Tony.
turned passion. With passion comes patience.
That sounds like a song to me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Do we need to write this down so we can remember it?
Tony is a mentor. Every night when I finish, we talk, and he shares all these nuggets with me, and he's a heart of love. That's like I
well, you
say.
could
That's
see,
why we
you
come
could
here.
feel that in the restaurant when you come here. You could feel the love.
Yes.
You really do,
We all
Tony.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
Tony, how long has Tonino's been open now?
We open first day was Valentine's Day 2015.
So
Wow.
3 years.
A little over
3
3 years.
years,
Congratulations.
and I appreciate American nation. When they say God bless America, I always didn't understand why God bless America, God bless everywhere.
Right.
But you are a blessed people.
Yes, thank you.
You are appreciated from here.
Amen.
And
you
God
do.
bless you more and more and more and more.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
And
So-
Joel has got guitar and lap. And
Ready for another song?
I think we
All
are.
right.
What do you got? For,
Oh, one Italian. Oh, everybody loves it when you're like, when the moon hits your
I
eye.
like
Yeah, that's always gets everybody singing. You know what? I wasn't gonna do this, but I'd like to do just a quick. I'll make up a medley as we go
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
of a couple, because a lot of people don't know what I used to sing. This was the first song I wrote when I was 14. Flowing like a river to the ocean. A man can sure get lost out on the sea. Rain is running down my window, landing on the ground so aimlessly. Tomorrow, another town awaits me to be my home. A man has no solid ground till he's got a love to call his own. And then a couple years later, I wrote this one. You're
that was
so
beautiful.
easy to hold, I don't want to let go. These feelings that I have for you won't ever grow old. When it comes to your kiss, I can't seem to resist temptation from your sweet inviting, warm, tender lips. When it comes to holding you, I want you to know, baby, you're so easy to hold. And then we bring it up to the more modern times. In the 90s, line dancing was real popular.
Right.
And I had a country band and played a lot of places. The windmills are pumping water. The grass is stirring high. The coyotes haven't killed a single lamb, and the creeks aren't even dry. Fences are fixed, the calves have been worked, the hay's all in the barn. I can't quite figure what's going on, 'cause everything's going right on the farm. Last year's drought nearly ran us dry. This year we're wet and green. Sometimes life can be do or die, so we keep our chins up and we build our dreams. Well, the kids are minding and they've done their chores. Their mother's overflowing with charm. I can't quite figure what's going on, 'cause everything's going right on the farm.
Woo!
Thank you. There's
You
a few.
were 14? 14?
Well,
when you-
14 was the first
The
one.
first one,
The
but I
second
can't-
one was 18, and that one I was probably 22.
Oh my gosh. I'm still just shocked at 14 that your lyrics were just incredible. And your insight on life, it was just so good. I was just,
You encouraged me to dig deeper. Thank you
Oh.
for that, Kat.
hey, I want to welcome Robbie Motter.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just honored to be here. I came to support both of you and
Thank
Joel
you.
Reese because he is amazing, and I was so happy that we got to reconnect. I showed up. You know, I always tell everybody it's all about showing up, and the power's in the asking. So I was here one day at Tonino's, which I absolutely love. Tony makes me feel like I'm back in New York. Every time you walk in, he makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world. And he is just, in fact, I always thought he was Italian. He's from Egypt
Yeah.
because he reminds me of all my Italian friends when I worked in the Big Apple.
Well, he's got an Italian wife, so
That's it. She's trained him well.
Yeah, she has. I got to meet this lady.
And he has beautiful children. But it was so funny because I came in here one day and I saw this picture on the wall of Joel, and I thought, God, he looks like the guy that I knew 15 years ago. And I remember saying to Tony, is that Joel Reese who used to perform in Nashville and lives in Temecula? He said, I think it is. He performs here on Friday. So guess what? I showed up on Friday, and there was the Joel Reese I know.
And we had a blast. I was so thrilled that you came.
And he did. And I, and the other part is the ask. So the next thing I said, how would you like to perform for a tea I'm doing for 150 women? And he showed up. Not only did he show up to perform, he showed up and helped us serve. Everybody
my
loved
God.
him. I mean, how many times do you get an entertainer that's going to help you serve? It's what-
Oh boy, and you have such a network. There was so many beautiful people there, and one lady even gave me some money to give to my little girl because she didn't have a gift, and she wanted to send a gift home with me.
Oh, that's
the
so
kind
sweet.
of people Robbie brings together.
I know.
Helen's her name.
We've been friends for several years now, and you are the district manager for NAF.
I'm the global coordinator for NAFI. I recently started another nonprofit called the Global Society Female Entrepreneurs, which is NAFI is the membership organization. But my other nonprofit is going to be, because nowadays whenever you want to do an event and get in-kind donations, you have to have a 501c3.
Right.
So that's a 501c3. So that'll do all the training, and it's going to do the NAFI conference every year. I also just brought back the Diva Registry.
I know you and I were talking about that before. I think I would have to be a diva. Just to be associated with the divas, with Robbie and everybody.
And she is from the inside out.
Well, you know what it is? Let me just tell you. And in fact, one gal sent me an email. I did this in 2007 to 2009, and then I got breast cancer, and I had to give up something, so I had to stop it because I had to get well. But the other day on my vision board this year, I said, powerful connections. And all of a sudden, it came back to me that I had to restart this. So 2 days ago, I got the idea to bring it back. I already have 22 divas in 2 days. And one of the divas, her name is Felicia Scott. She emailed me and she said, Robbie, the reason I sign all my emails, Felicia the Diva, is that I was part of your group in 2007 to the time. So what I feel happens, because it even is for me, I mean, I'm a fun person, but I wasn't always that outgoing. But it's sort of funny when you put on the tiara and the crown and a boa, all of a sudden you sort of have permission to be fun. And so that's what happens. And some of the girls were like me, where we worked all the time. Like you work all the time. And just since this happened, we're already thinking of the diva party. So my friend Jean Alexis said, all right, the first one should be a Kentucky Derby party. I said, great. So I already posted it. So we're going to do it.
Oh, the Kentucky Derby.
And I want you to write a song for us.
I think we need a Chords and Vines diva party.
We do. We're going to do
I was just talking to her about that and doing it over at the corporate room.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I love the corporate room. They're great. That's where I was there one time. I was doing an event, and you guys were on before my event, remember?
Right. You were hosting
a friend of mine's candidate.
candidacy. Yeah, and I'm sorry he didn't win. I thought he was the best.
He's good. Well, he might come back and win.
Kat, you must, as much as you could buy out the time, be a part of this diva program. Contribute.
Well, I was talking with Laura about that. Did you know Laura Plant over here?
Yeah.
Laura's been. We thought, gee, how could we wear a little tiara?
But you know what I found when we show up as divas into a place and everybody comes with their tiara and boa, it's like everybody thinks, oh my God, I would like to. They sort of have the confidence, and they gravitate to us. We don't even have to go out and try to meet them. They're coming to us. I found that everywhere we went when we did it before.
So that's sort of like the Red Hat Society. It could be your Diva Society.
Well, yeah. Well, what it is the registered divas is when you become a registered diva, you pick your diva name, and if nobody has it, it becomes yours. You get a certificate, you get a boa, you get a tiara, and you get a diva pin. And then you get invited to the diva parties.
I like the idea of your Kentucky Derby party. I think that would be fun.
So that's going to be the first one. But then the other thing is when my daughter was here recently, she got a call from her office in Virginia, and somebody knows somebody in the San Diego Marina who owns the marina and has a $700,000 yacht. So I thought that may be the second party. Mm-hmm. We'll have lots of good parties. That's why we need the diva song.
Yes, we're going to do this. Oh,
Oops,
It's-
we're doing a selfie.
isn't
here.
it something, John, when you put on a costume or you put a puppet on your hand? Oh, what's happening? Oh, I don't know. What is happening? I'm just wondering. Anyway, you make your hand talk or put a puppet on it, and it'll say you never know what it's going to say.
Right.
I've never done
Because
that.
you can blame it on that. See,
Yeah.
I can blame it on the diva
On the
thing.
diva thing, right.
Because I work all the time. I mean, I'm up at 5 in the morning and I work till midnight. So 7 days a week because I interact with 10,000 women a year.
Oh my
You know what
God.
blew me away about you, Ravi, is one night I wanted to send you a message, and it was 1 in the morning or something. I thought, maybe I shouldn't because I don't want to wake her up if it hits her phone. I thought, no, she's probably sound asleep. Next morning, she'd already answered it. She says, I stay up till 1, 2.
I noticed that she is a night owl.
And
I-
I'm
you ever
82 years old. So see what you have.
82. Oh my gosh.
See what
I
you
would
have-
never have guessed that.
Yeah, I was,
ever.
I was 82 on March 8th.
Last week, she was up on
Another
her roof,
Pisces.
roofing her house.
I'm
a
March.
Pi-
I'm March 17th.
Yeah, and I'm born on International Women's Day. And it's funny, I didn't know that till just a few years ago. And I said, I knew I was always an international woman. And when I did my DNA, everything came back, I was international. So
Wow.
I love it. I love life. I think you have to live your life every day, do what you want. So many times people say, I'm going to do it like, I'll tell you a good example. I was 5 generations from Hawaii. I never visited any of the islands till I went back as a tourist, other than the one I was born on. So now I go anywhere I want. If an opportunity, like a good example, we did a big event. We launched Carlsbad Nafi yesterday.
Oh.
And on the way back, I said, I'm not going to fight the traffic. So we're going to the Oceanside Harbor. We're gonna have dessert. And then I think when I got there, I thought, well, let's take a boat ride.
Oh,
so we did a
boy.
boat ride.
How fun.
And we missed all the traffic.
That is so cool.
That's what I do, too. I always
I
stay and
just
walk
love-
on the beach. And then
I
come
just
home
love
later.
her energy, and it just so. I mean, honestly, ever since I met you, your energy has just flowed right over to everybody. And thank you so much for that. And thank you for my beautiful card and my bracelets here.
And I told my son he has to write a song so he can get on your. He
Yes.
performs at Masters all the time in the Oceanside. Plus, he's a senior VP during the day. And I said to him, "You got to write a song so you can be on the Chords and Vines. They don't take songs if you don't write them."
Yeah.
It's got to be original music.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on. Well, we can at least have him on and do maybe some little parts of the songs. That
Yeah, he does the
performs.
50s, the Eagles, all that stuff. That's
Well, we
his-
could talk with him about it. We'd
Yeah.
love to have him on sometime. But thank you so much, Robbie, for being here
I'm
and,
so
and
hap-
connecting us again with Tonino's and
Yeah,
with Joel.
I'm so happy that he was here because that gave me an excuse to come out today. Otherwise, I'd be on the computer.
And because of you, Robbie, a lot of fun things, neat things have happened here this past couple of months. I really appreciate that.
Well, it's because you're a good person, and every day you give us words of wisdom on Facebook to get us going for the day, and I love it. Keep it going.
Thank you. Okay, I will.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you so much.
Wow. She's like the female version of Jack LaLanne to keep you strong and disciplined and moving forward.
She does. I can't believe 82.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She is just. You would never ever guess that. So you got another
Nothing
song
but
for us?
loving all the time. In my heart and in my mind, nothing but love. Your sweet love, cat.
We're gonna bring Laura on in just a little bit, but Joel, go ahead.
Okay.
Let's listen.
The
to
heart of the city streets are beating. Another day is on the rise. There's a hustle in the air, no time for breathing. People rushing everywhere in their disguise. Precious hearts of love are getting mighty rare. But I've got enough love to share. I can feel it in the air, nothing but loving all the time. In my heart and in my mind, nothing but love. Your sweet love, Tom. Oh, oh, sweet Laura. Come on, John, give me another hug.
Long trip, sailor?
I'm living and I'm breathing and I'm drinking nothing but love. I'm eating and I'm sleeping and I'm drinking nothing but love. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah.
Joel Reese. Yes,
Yay!
indeed.
I gotta say, you're talking about love, and it's another quote from your Facebook.
Oh boy, this is
Personal
amazing.
and professional problems are all solved with love. Without it, we are like rattling, buzzing strings on an out-of-tune guitar.
I remember that. Thank you for reading that. Wow.
It just kind of flowed with what you just performed. That was so good.
Well, it's like the winemaker. They took 3 winemakers one time, and one of them, and they all used the same barrels, the same juice. And when they were done, one tasted better than the other two, because the one winemaker had love and passion. He slept in the cellar that night, making sure fermentation was right. So you can have science right and all the technique right, but without love, it's just
Exactly.
rattling strings out of tune, isn't it, John?
That's right. I'd rattle a lot of strings out of tune.
Oh yeah.
So we've got Laura Plant.
I'm here.
Yay, Laura. Laura has Words and Vines.
Yes, I started. Actually, I am a writer, so I decided to sort of expand on Chords and Vines and start my own radio show, which is called Words and Vines. I've already recorded 3 shows, and we will start broadcasting them probably this next week. My first guests were musicians that have worked with John Quint. I had Robin Adler and David Blackburn talking about lyrics, and we were talking specifically about lyrics that they use a lot, which was Joni Mitchell and how Joni Mitchell wrote her lyrics. And it was just beautiful. It was just a wonderful, wonderful broadcast they did. And then I met with the local author, which I am also going to be including in Words and Vines. So we're going to have lyricists, authors. The author I chose was a local Temecula man named David Putnam, who is a former police investigator who has written a series of books. His hero is called Bruno Johnson, who is a black major investigator that's been involved in many, many police stories. And his latest configuration is he rescues children from situations where they've been kidnapped and horrible things have happened to him. And he and his wife rescue these children and have moved them to Costa Rica. So this is a very interesting, ongoing story. He's working on book 5 now.
Don Putnam, I've heard of him, I think.
Yes, he's a wonderful, wonderful author. So
Are you
we've
gonna
had
go ahead?
fun with him, and he was actually on the show. We met at Wine on a Dime, which is a wonderful local winery, and came up with some vines that sort of went with his thing.
They were really cool vines, too. They were the spooky kind of sounding vines that would go along with the detective novel. It was really
Right.
good.
So it's going to be fun to talk with him and hope to continue talking with him in the future. He has a writers group that includes, I think, 6 or 7 local authors, and we're going to try and get involved with some of the other authors that are part of his group. And then I just finished, actually a couple of weeks ago, working with a former local singer, Matt Folkmuse Stone. And Matt and I met, and he was talking about writing his songs. He's a wonderful spokesperson for wolves. He's done a lot of work with trying to save wild wolves and all that they have gone through, and just trying to keep wolves alive. And he wrote 3 different songs that we feature, so that will be a lot of fun to talk about his past and what led up to the different lyrics that he's written. And then we're going to be working with
Luciano.
Luciano, yes.
Luciano with his singing, songwriting, storytelling. He's got a lot of poems that he's written.
And he's written poems.
I was going to ask you if you're going to include poems.
We are.
Good.
We're actually going to try, when we end up with the entire series, we're going to try to vary things. Lyricists, writers, which could be fiction or nonfiction writers, poetry, and then also to include different writing groups or people that just contribute workshops and things towards writing. So we're going to try and get a nice variety of people and have people be able to join in, come to the show and share their writing experiences with others, and just kind of we want to broadcast it on Saturday rather and keep Chords and Vines on Sunday. And then we'll probably do a second broadcast during the week on Wednesdays.
Right, yeah. And Laura, your program's going to do so much for people, and I'll give you an example of what it'll do. My dad, I never knew he was a poet. 20 years ago, he started writing a few poems for people. And then he kept writing them, giving them as gifts. And people said, you got to make a book. So he did 1 year ago. He sells his book for $30, and people pay it gladly. And it's amazing.
Nice.
So what you're doing, well, you know, for me to have that legacy for him to write these poems, we have a book now, and it's
Right.
good.
And I'd like to be sort of a conduit to things like that, where you could get on our website and find these books and be able to order them through us, or, you know, get a link to be able to order different books that people have out and really feature writers. And there's so many excellent writers everywhere, but, you know, this valley seems to breed quite
It
a
does.
few. So
The
I'm
love
really
and
looking
passion in-
forward to it.
The love and passion in your heart shows on your face.
Thank
Doesn't
you.
she always pretty much have a pleasant, sweet smile in her eyes?
Thank you very much.
And that's going to do a lot for the
And I
writers
am
in this valley.
passionate about this.
I can see that.
And so I look forward to doing it regularly with people and having all of you join us on my
That'll be
journey with
I'm
writing.
inspired.
You got to get John Quint for
Thanks
sure.
so much, Laura. That's wonderful. Words and Vines. Listen for it on 10, the Temecula
No.
Entertainment Network.
Joel, I should have brought this up when Robbie was up here. Now, she's writing a story, isn't she? You post,
Yes.
Where will you show up today? There's power in that action. It helps when we are prepared, but if not, don't let that stop you. My friend Robbie Motter's story, including her message of showing up, will be featured in a powerful new book soon.
She let me watch. She let me kind of not proofread, but read and see how I liked her chapter, and it's really good.
Laura, that could be one for you.
Blows your
you
mind.
too,
You
Doc.
bet.
Yeah, it's a great. Her story is great.
Joel, you got one more song for us?
Yes.
Why don't we do it?
Yes. Okay. Chardonnay's all washed out. She's seen better days. Now she's being replaced with the French Viognier. Pinot Noir's good as dead. He's been way overpoured. I hear Grenache and Syrah slipping in the back door. Too much of a good thing makes a good thing a bore. When you overindulge, you can't stand anymore. So with all moderation, balance and grace, try a wider selection and broaden your taste.
I love it.
The economy's down. I wrote this in 2008 when things hit. The economy's down, but the drinking rate's up. No more folks are out of buying that old $2 Chuck.
$3 now.
But I'm warning you now, for your palate rebels. You're drinking from the bottom of the bolt barrel well. Too much of a good thing makes a good thing a bore. When you overindulge, you can't stand anymore. So with all moderation, balance and grace, try a wider selection and broaden your taste.
Perfect.
Bravo.
Love it. Bravo.
Joel Reese, thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you for
being
having
here,
me.
Joel.
I'm honored to be a part of what you're
thank you.
doing.
Thank
Will
you.
you come back again?
Yes, because I decided this past 6 months I'm ready to get back into music
Good.
full time. Not full time. I'm still going to work at with the wineries, but More
well, that's
full-time.
what we're about.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we could do a show out there at Leoness.
I'd love that.
That would be
Wonderful.
great.
Thank you, Tom.
Now,
and Chris.
John, I got to talk with you. You and Vince Mendoza. You performed at one of our sponsors with Scott and Wanda's.
Scott and Wanda Chappelle, yeah.
And you guys were just incredible.
Well, thank you. We had a good time too, and they treated us really, really well. It was
Scott
a
and Wanda are
wonderful-
incredible people, aren't they?
They are wonderful people. Wanda's an amazing chef in her own right
Yes.
too. That dinner was incredible.
We need to hook you up, Joel. Meet our friend Scott and Wanda.
Yeah.
Now, is Scott the guitar player? No.
No.
No,
Oh,
he's-
okay,
No,
this is
no,
different.
yeah.
That's the different
owner of
than
the house,
Mendoza.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the house.
He's a
but
realtor.
He's
Oh,
a
okay.
realtor and one of our sponsors.
Yes, Scott Chappell and Wanda Andreas, Amazing Temecula Valley Homes. And you can go to amazingtemeculaValleyHomes.com and learn more about them. If you want to do a 1031 exchange, you probably know what that is. If you don't, just go to his website. He's the best, Scott Chappell.
And along with, before we get back to John, along with our other sponsors, want to thank Chris Wilton, our corporate sponsor,
Welton
Law, WAGLTON law.com. Or is it org?
No, it's .com.
It's .com. I just talked with Chris the other day, and he's just absolutely wonderful. And he has the Barstow Prophets, who just performed Friday night at the Temecula Valley Cheese Company, where you can find Sassy Mama's Mustard.
That's right.
So if I steal some of your lyrics and I write my own song, you're going to call what's it? Welton
Law.
You're
He's
going to call
a
Welton,
crib.
right?
He's
No,
a
I'd
crib
call
elder.
I'd call Mr. Canetti.
Oh,
And you'd never have a problem again.
That's right.
So, John, I gotta say, you and Vince, I met you guys separately, not together, but you just started performing together, and you've got a couple of dates coming up over at the in Murrieta at the
Mill.
Mill. That's
Mill,
it. I was
yeah.
like drawing a blank for a second.
Yep.
I could not believe the harmonies that you two could put together. I mean, not the harmonies, but your guitar work you put together. Your vocals with your guitar work together just blended into like a harmony. It was just really...
It was something we thought...
It was different.
Yeah, it was different. It was worth exploring. And Vince, Vince is probably one of the hardest working guitarists in the entire valley.
yeah, he
So-
is.
And he's very professional, and it was his idea, actually. He suggested that we try to do something like this, because I was going to quit playing locally. You know that. I told you about that. But it ended up, it's blossoming, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm having a good time.
It's very good. And I know you don't like covers, but I got to tell you...
Well, no,
you-
I don't like doing the typical cover.
Typical, right.
yeah.
But you did some Led Zeppelin, some Robert Plant that was just absolutely incredible. Probably better than Robert Plant.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, John. Your vocals are just phenomenal.
thank you.
And having Vince back you up and your both your guitar work together. Like I said, it was just a harmony with guitars, but then you came out with your vocals just totally. You had everybody at that event mesmerized. You really did.
I had no idea because I was too nervous looking at the neck of my guitar, like, I hope I don't mess this up. But thank you. That was very
Well,
kind.
John, when you performed with your music out loud, before you knew that you won, you performed that night, and you were so good. You had that whole audience there at Kulak's Woodshed totally mesmerized. Plus, it was televised all over the world, and the comments and everybody that came in on that were just unreal. And here, Tom and I knew for 2 weeks that you had won, and we couldn't say anything. It was the hardest
word.
secret I had to keep.
I was sitting with Caroline.
That night's a blur to me still, Kat, because I was so nervous that night, knowing that this was going to be all over the world. I was like, oh, my God.
Well, the thing is, I had to convince him to enter.
I'm glad you did.
Me too. I
Because
mean,
It took more than one, too. And more than
I
one
had to keep
convincing.
I had to keep bugging him, and I thought he's going to hate me if I
John,
keep
did
doing
you enter
this.
yet? John, did you enter yet? John,
Did
did
you-
you
you
enter
know,
yet?
It's like
And-
mom and dad like getting you to do something. And Vince Mendoza, when he plays, it's like you're listening to a Michael Jackson record. You're
Yes.
listening to any great record you've ever
And
heard.
he's
He's
played
like
with
the
Michael.
studio guitar player. Well, I
Right,
didn't
he
even
is.
know that.
Yeah, he's
so
played
then
with
you
Michael
put
Jackson.
John with his spirit and his voice together. That's amazing.
Oh my God! It's just absolutely incredible. And like I said, I know John doesn't like doing cover. I mean, he does the obscure covers. And when he did Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, I was like, Oh my God, you blew me away that night because I don't think maybe one time I heard you do some Zeppelin.
Yeah, with Robin and Dave, we did the Rain song.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did that,
Yeah.
but that night with Vince,
And when the levee
entirely
breaks.
different. Entirely different, and it was just, it gave me
Do
chills.
we have a
It was-
recording, or is it on Facebook Live? I
I,
want to hear
I
this.
have a recording. I did a video.
You did
The
a video?
video part did not come out well, but I think the audio part
I'd
did.
love to hear what you two sound like together.
And
Or
it
next time
was-
you're playing.
We
I
can
gotta
make
get-
that happen for you, Joel.
I think we need to do another house
book it.
concert
Yeah.
with you guys again. But then again, you're going to be playing at the Mill. You got 2 dates coming up. And I have it on my.
June 8th and August 11th, I believe.
Jot those down, Joel.
So I can come hear them then.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, yeah, because it was just really, really. I mean, and I know Scott and Wanda was amazing. Temecula Valley Homes had this
They were
dinner
very,
party,
very gracious. to us.
and
It was a wonderful
they
evening.
they actually said we need some music, for our party, and Tom and I said John Quint, and then with Vince, and they were just so totally thrilled with that. So
I'm honored.
it was really good, and I
fun
look
evening.
forward to the Mill and many, many more things coming out with you and Vince. I know you said you wanted to just go, but I think you
Fade
and Vince.
off into the sunset? No, I don't think so.
No, that's a waste of talent to do that, John. And you and I have talked about that quite a bit.
True.
And I'm one of your biggest fans. So,
Well, thank
and
you.
I will be always honest with you on everything. So, I'm glad to see that you guys are going to be working on that, and look forward to hearing more and hopefully more house concerts.
What a wonderful show this has been at Tonino. I want to thank our guest,
Lot of
Joel
fun.
Reese. Joel, thank you so very much.
You too.
John Quint, thank
Tom.
you, John.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank
Kat.
you.
Robbie
And-
Motter, thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, Robbie
Thank you, Robbie Motter.
and Laura Plant.
And Tony.
And
And
Tony.
Tony.
Tony, thank you.
Tonino's.
Tony, grazie.
And we want to thank you, Kat, and you, Tom, for doing this. Wow. This is
Thank
so
you.
beautiful.
It's
You
our-
do a great job.
Thank you. It's our passion.
Thank you, Tony's here.
Thank you very much for coming.
Well, thank you for hosting us. We hope we
Taking
come.
a picture of us all together? I didn't. Thank you.
And Joe and Grace and everybody else for coming here.
Yeah. Like we're on the microphone or something here.
You were doing a selfie here.
I don't know if,
All
I don't know
right.
if you can get a
a
picture of
selfie.
all of us together, but maybe take two. Maybe one this way. and one from- Oh, it's switched. There we go. Okay. Oh, is it working right now? Okay.
And again, thanks to our corporate sponsor, Chris Welton, attorney at law.
And Scott Chappell
Oh.
and Andrea Wanda Andreas.
Turn around, John.
Amazing Temecula Valley Homes.
Turn around the picture.
Photo opportunity, John. Here we go. Too bad this isn't TV.
Well, we're working on that.
All righty.
Well, thank you so much, and I love your music, Joel.
Thank you. I'll
like I
come to your
said-
house and sing. I'll put
Okay.
I'll put you
We'll-
to sleep.
We'll hold you to it.
Oh no.
No, to sleep the lady of the college.
Good night, sweet cat. Good night. Something like that.
Hi, this is Martha Davis from the Motels, and you're listening to 10 Temecula Entertainment Network.
In the valley of Temecula, under skies of blue, vineyards sprawl on rolling hills, kissed by the morning dew. People come from near and far to gather for a taste. A tour and a local band make for a special place. Chords and vines, songs and wine, a bottle and a tune. Chords and vines, songs and